Right, it's early October and we're in the woods. Can't get near it with the van because I can't get into the field at the bottom. I got stuck last week and had to dig myself out. But we're donkeying the last of some winter before last timber out to use this winter, rather than leave it up here another year when it would have gone off. Don't know whether the GoPro is going to pick this up. But this is near my firewood pile and there are hornets flying around in this patch of sunlight. Up against the edge of this these hazel stalls where it's sunlit. I'll redo this in case you can't hear the hornets and leave out mention of hornets, but hornets, like wasps, are of course important predators of smaller creatures, and if you just exterminate them for no reason, then you're really not doing the balance of things any good at all. There's no point getting upset about them. If you leave them alone, they'll usually leave you alone. So we'll just leave them to fly about and yeah, get on with moving the timber. Let me show you. That's 3 winters old, that's sycamore. This is also sycamore. And this tree here, there's an ash beside it to the right with ash dieback up in the canopy. And that timber's gone off, so we'll leave that in the wood. This is where timber has been. I managed to get some good loads out earlier in the year, and this is what's left. I've had 4 mule loads out so far today. That's down the bottom. And we'll pick that up in the van. And there's about another 8 here. So we'll trundle that gently downhill. If you load the mule so it's well forward, you don't bear much weight picking the handles up. Biggest issue is stopping it running way down the slope. But you don't have to push it at all. So if you take it gently and steady, it's perfectly doable. Right, that's 6 mule loads gone down at the bottom, and another one about to go. Anybody who's interested and hasn't seen it before, this is the mule, which is basically a mutant wheelbarrow with, we won't go into it now, a wheel from a Honda Melody on the front and a tyre from a Lambretta, which is possibly the best thing a Lambretta could do: donate its tyres to keeping an old geezer warm. That'll get some comments, hopefully. Right, onwards. Ta-da! As if by magic, the pile is gone. So that's 12 mule loads, or 11 and a half if you count that one as a half. And that's basically the covers that were on here after the end of the drought to keep it a bit drier. They'll go on the other pile, which is last winter's cord, which is over there. These will stay here. I'm not going to move them and tidy them up in inverted commas, because they've been here 2 years, possibly 3, and they're growing into the ground. And there's all bugs and beasties underneath them. They're not worth using for firewood because they were sycamore and they started to go soft. That's a bit of oak, you can see it's rotten in the middle. Bit of hazel there, again rotten in the middle, and these other things. So these are the bearers, and they lie these lie a long ways to keep your cordwood off the ground. If you can keep it off the ground, it doesn't rot as fast. That's an end stop, and then your stobs keep the end stop from rolling. And then along this plane here, you knock in about 6 inches, some tall ones. Saves you having to drive them in a long way, and you're not reliant on strength here, because this is where they'll rot. That's actually not too bad. But sometimes after a couple of years, if you're using hazel, it'll rot right off. These are all okay. Oh, no, they're not. That's what I wanted to show you. Look, it's broke off like a carrot. not very strong. That one's loose. But we'll leave them there as almost dead wood. And these stalls on the edge here, which got a bit squashed, see their hazel? They've got a little chance now to regrow. We'll leave the Dorset gate in and closed to give this another year, hopefully, without deer browsing. And that will be its 5th growing season. It's a bit small and a bit weedy because it's underneath the canopy of these sycamores, which cast a very dense canopy. You can possibly see that ash casts a much less dense canopy. This one here is fairly healthy at the moment, although there's some dieback in the branch tips. That one there's more dieback. And actually these fall early and they come in late. So coppice regrowth under ash was always better than under sycamore or beech or even oak. Beech casts a very dense shade, oak is a relatively dense shade. I might next winter, that's winter 23-24, come in and actually fell out this sycamore and this sycamore here and turn them into firewood, depending on the landowner's needs and wants and the activities of other people who coppice in this site. So that's it. Right, go and load up the trailer and go on for me dinner. Been here about 2 hours to shift all that little lot out across the field. Not been busting a gut, just gently trundling down.